And turning now to some weather and the science behind derechos. These rare storms seem to be popping up more and more, and we've even had 2 so far this year. Our weather intern Allison Mills breaks down what they are and why they could be changing.
Powerful and destructive winds of derechos have caused billions of dollars in damage across Iowa and Illinois in the last few years.
Think of it as a sort of a large auditorium of thunderstorms. There's just a bunch of thunderstorms commingling, and when they do that, they tend to organize on a scale larger than their individual parts.
The term derecho isn't new.
So why are we hearing more about derechos?
If you go back to the August 2020 event in Iowa and northern Illinois, I think that particular event really awakened not only people in the Midwest, but also the insurance industry and certainly farmers. That was about a $13 billion event. You know, compared to a tornado, they're typically not as intense, but because they're so large and that is length in the width, they affect a lot more people. Derechos are very difficult to forecast. I would argue that we're better at forecasting days that are going to be prolific tornado producers than derechos.
Part of that challenge is the criteria these storms must meet to be called a derecho.
In order for a storm to be classified as a derecho, it must travel at least 400 miles, at least 60 miles wide, wind gusts exceed 58 miles per hour along majority of the line, and several reports of wind gusts are greater than 75 miles an hour. As you see, a lot of ingredients must come together for a storm to be classified as a derecho. Dr. Ashley says we still have a lot of work to do to understand these storms.
Would a warming planet play into why we're seeing more of these events?
One thing we're certain of, climate change doesn't create these events. What it can possibly do is enhance them. What we're most interested here at IU is studying how these events are going to change in the future.
Why is our region more vulnerable to derechos?
You get a lot of flow in the upper parts of the atmosphere that comes from Canada and stretches into the southern Great Lakes. And that puts us sort of in a highway of very fast winds.
Over the last 26 years, Iowa and Illinois on average see a derecho every 1 to 2 years, mostly during our hot and summer months when we have the most storm energy. That storm energy typically occurs with heat waves. We had our first December derecho in 2021. Other years of note would be 2014 and 2024, where 2 derechos took place in 1 year.
I think that the important thing is, even though you hear maybe, they're non-tornadic or straight line winds, they still kill. These events still fell, trees. There's numerous deaths that occur in these events.
The Midwest is primed for derecho development. Collecting data and storm reports is vital to continue to learn more about these storms. Allison Mills, WQAD News 8.